Hello everybody, Unknown Reefer here, bringing you a quick video. It's a video I've been meaning to do for a while, which is critical sort of safety equipment for your reef. The tank's still doing well. I've been doing a few treatments of cyano clear, but I'm still getting a little bit build up. But it is essentially a new tank, so it's a bit of new tank syndrome. A couple of little new additions, dwarf parrot there, which is very pretty fish that's now run away. And everything's growing, fox face is growing. I might put the filter on at the end of the video and give you a better look at the tank. Right, but for the subject for today, 3 critical safety bits of equipment. So we'll go down to the sump for this. And yes, my sump's a bit messy. It is maintenance day and I've just put in another wave maker up in that top corner, so I need to tidy the wire up for that. Right, now the first bit of safety kit is one of these. It's an RCD, it's a residual current device. Now this actually isn't the type that you want. This is a non-latching one. You want to get yourself a latching one, which I'll put a link for in the description. But the only latching one that I've got is actually down by the side of the tank, so it's not very easy to get a picture of, and I don't just want to unplug the whole tank just for this video. Now what that will do is if there's any current leaking down to earth, so quite often the easiest route to earth would be through you. If there was something broken in your tank, as soon as it detects any current leaking down, it will trip. Now the amount of current is very, very minimal, so it trips. Now most houses have RCDs built into their ring mains. The only problem is the further away you get from it, the longer it takes to trip. So I highly recommend, if not at least on your heaters, but I built a power board, as you can see here. I built a power board, and that plugs in, that whole power board plugs in. I know that's a little bit messy down there. That all plugs in through an RCD, a 13 amp RCD. 13 amp should be enough. If I'm electronic engineer by trade, so if anybody wants me to do a video on how to calculate out your power consumption and how much current your tank's going to need, let me know in the comments and I will make a video for that. Now the RCD on its own won't really protect you. Now it has to detect a path down to earth. Unfortunately, that could be your hand. If you've got a heater that's cracked or a bit of kit that's going, it will only trip when it gets a route down to earth, so it will go through you, because it links up to the earth of your house, which is a bar which is buried out somewhere outside your house. Now, the easiest way to earth your tank nicely is I've gone for, let's see it down here, an earth probe. Now this is a titanium probe, as titanium doesn't rust, that just sits in my sump. Get it to focus. Now what that does is that just gives a nice route down to earth for the power to go. So just wipe the camera. For the power to go. So rather than me sticking my hand in if something's broken and creating an electrical current in the tank, it goes through that and it will trip the RCD. And I know RCDs work because on my previous tank I had a leak which dripped down onto my power board that I'd made, and the RCD tripped out and stopped my house burning down. Now they're a little bit expensive for those probes. I think that one was 30 quid off eBay, and the only reason I went with that is because I just bought a brand new heater, so I didn't want to pay out for another heater. For most of you, I would recommend just getting a titanium heater. They do need control kit. I've got the control box up there for my heater, which I'll do a review on Monday. So they're very good because obviously titanium won't crack, and then the outside of it is earthed. So if you get any electrical current in your tank, it will earth it out and trip it. Now, you will get, a lot of people have probably felt little shocks or little tingles from their tank, potentially mostly in their sumps. That's because things like heaters and more more often, electric pumps, so like in your skimmer or your return pumps, the coils of the magnets and stuff inside the motors will actually generate a small electric current in your tank. It won't be enough level to trip the RCD, but you will feel it, and quite often you tend to see about 20-30 volts in your tank. Now, putting a titanium heater or earthing probe will get rid of that, but it'll only get rid of it close to the equipment. You could still have one of your wave makers up in the main tank, generating a little bit of current and a bit of stray voltage into the tank, but from my experience it tends to be the more powerful return pumps and skimmers and heaters that generate the electrical force. So your two critical bits of kit are an RCD on your plug going in and some sort of earthing in your tank itself, whether that's a titanium heater or a titanium earth probe. Either one will do. Foxface and Pedro having a little bit of a to-do there. He's getting quite big now, so they tend to scrap a little bit. Now, the third bit is a socket tester. Now, I would imagine, as a lot of other people do, like me, you've probably built some plug boards in your time making your tank. Now, what this does is there's loads of different ones on the market. I think I picked this one up for £8, but you can pay a little bit more and you can get a nice LCD screen that gives you more info. What this does is this just tells you whether you've wired the plug up right. Okay, so if you've got the two lights on, everything's good. If you've got them in any other combination, then you could have an open connection, or you've reversed it, or there's no ground or whatever. Also on these, they have this RCD test. So once you wire up with an RCD plug, you can press this button and it just puts a little load across the earth and the live, so it will trip your RCD, so you can actually use that to test it. These are really useful, and for £8 they're worth the weight in gold, because you can actually tell if your plugs are wired up properly before you either properly plug it into the wall or you start putting expensive bits of kit on it, just to find out that it's actually, you've got something reversed and you're going to blow your kit up. I highly recommend, if nothing else from this video, if you make your own plug boards, you get one of these. Okay, now, and lastly, as a bonus bit of safety equipment, I recommend getting a carpet cleaner, because if you're anything like me, you'll always end up spilling water, and with a nice little carpet cleaner you can usually tidy it up before the wife gets back, finds out, and murders you. I actually bought that as we had all the carpets replaced after my previous tank leaked, and I did my first water change and the handle on my bucket split, and I dumped about 5-6 litres of seawater, dirty seawater, over the floor. So the wife was not happy with me. So that's really it for the video, guys. I'll just chuck the lens on and you can have a quick look at the tank with the lens on. Probably got my face in that. So everything's going well. So that Monty's coming up really nice and colourful now. And Digi. And everything seems to be getting on happy. I do even have the engineer Goby lives in the middle of that cave. It's probably about 8 inches long now, but you never see him. So, thanks for tuning in. As I say, any questions, put them in the comments, or if you want me to go through how to calculate your electricity usage and what fuses and stuff you need, let me know down in the comments. Thanks a lot.